All right. Hello again, Avengers, and welcome to another exciting daily vlog. This is daily vlog number, 2025, number 80, I think. So, today, the Power Rangers are back. I need a drink. Hold, please. Drink. All right. So, there's been big news coming out of a bunch of different news sources. IGM has an article on it. The Wrap has an article on it. Screen Rant, Gizmodo, TV Line. Everybody is talking about the fact that a new live-action Power Rangers series is apparently in the works, and it's going to be on Disney Plus. To give you a little bit of background on this, go back a few years ago to Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. Power Rangers in and of itself started in the early 90s. And other than 1 year when it was kind of being shifted around as far as who held the rights to it, where they just re-aired Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but with really, really bad extra special effects and like comic book animations. It has been produced every year since then, which is really cool, really interesting. However, the most recent flavor of it started with Dino Fury. Then we got Super Dino Fury. Then we got Cosmic Fury, the first Power Rangers series to have the same actors for longer than just two seasons since the 90s. However, Cosmic Fury in and of itself was very much half-assed. Netflix had purchased the rights to Power Rangers a few years previously, back when Beast Morphers was still a thing. And Cosmic Fury, instead of being like a full episode run, I believe it was only like 6 or 8 episodes. The episodes themselves were massively rushed. They used very, very little footage from the Sentai that they were adapting from, which was, I can't even remember what it was called. It was a space constellation, the themed one, that had something like 12 Rangers. So they didn't use any of the suits from that. They just used the Zords. And I would guess the total runtime of the entire Cosmic Fury season that they actually had Sentai footage in there might have been 20 minutes. Like, the only thing that they used were the Zords, and they were on screen for an average episode. You might get 3 minutes of that. Everything else was produced by them. They created new costumes that looked like shit and had abs and chests. We'll say the boys had pecs, the girls had things there. It looked really, really bad. And it basically served as the final chapter of Power Rangers. They brought up quite a few different things going all the way back to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They brought back David Yost as Billy Cranston to serve as effectively as their mentor for a little while in there. And it effectively ended the Power Rangers. What was supposed to happen was Netflix again had purchased the rights from Hasbro to be able to stream Power Rangers, and there was a deal that they were going to have a new Power Rangers show that was going to serve as a reboot of the franchise. Well, after the lukewarm reception that Cosmic Fury got, because it was a bad show. I guess it wasn't a bad show. It just wasn't a good show. It was passable. It wasn't great. And as it stood basically ending the Power Rangers storyline completely. It wasn't. It didn't do that very well. Um, so the new rebooted series is supposed to be on Netflix. Netflix turned it down. And since then, and that happened, I believe, over a year ago now. Since then, Hasbro has basically been shopping around to find someone to actually host and a home for this new show. And apparently, they found it in Disney Plus. Hooray! Right? Like, hey, Power Rangers is back. Maybe. So, as I said before, Power Rangers has gone through a lot of hands over the year. It was originally Saban Entertainment and Chaim Saban and Shuki Levy did it for years and years and years and years and years and years. And then they sold the rights to, I have to remember now. I think it was Disney. No, it was Nickelodeon first. One of them. They sold that, and that's when we started getting things like Wild Force and Ninja Storm and all those other things. And then it got sold to, I think Disney was the second one. We can look it up. I have a damn computer in front of me. Power Rangers. Power Rangers characters, Deputy Super Sentai. Give me broadcast. Okay, so yeah, it was purchased by Disney in early 2000s. After Disney had it for a little while, Saban purchased it back from them for a little while, and that's what we call the Neo Saban era. And that's when it was being broadcast on Nickelodeon. It was eventually brought back under, or Hasbro purchased it into 2018, and then Hasbro's owned it since then. Okay, so that's how it went. And over that time, we've had like good series and bad series. Like the first few Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series, basically the first 3 series, were genre defining. They established everything. Zeo was kind of interesting. Turbo was not. Power Rangers in Space was so good that they were planning on canceling Power Rangers and having it end at Power Rangers in Space. And Power Rangers in Space was so good they went, maybe we should try this a little bit more. And then we started getting a new team every year, starting with Lost Galaxy and it's Go-Go 5 is the Sentai. What's it called? Lightspeed Rescue. There we go. And continued going after that. Disney bought it, and there were some good ones. Things like Time Force was a really phenomenal series. RPM is considered one of the best. One of my favorites is Mystic Force. Then we got the Neo Saban era, which was not quite as good. Samurai, some people liked it. I wasn't a huge fan. Megaforce and Super Megaforce just were not good in any way, shape, or form. Ninja Steel, we forgot Dino Charge, which some people like, some people didn't. It's one of those kind of middling seasons. Ninja Steel is kind of the same way, though I actually like the first season of Ninja Steel a lot. And then after Ninja Steel, we get into Beast Morphers, and we start moving into the Hasbro era. And Beast Morphers was actually a really good series. Season 2 got a little bit weird, but it took some nods from RPM, and it had some really, really good character development. I think Beast Morphers was really, really good. And then we got Dino Fury, which the first season was okay. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it wasn't bad. Season 2 started kind of going down, and then Cosmic Fury just was not good. So Power Rangers has been kind of up and down for a long time. However, this one in particular is going to be kind of special for a number of reasons. One, we've tried to reboot Power Rangers before. In 2017, they made a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie that the movie itself isn't bad. I was actually just rewatching it last night just because I hadn't watched it in a while. The movie itself is not bad. It actually had a really, really great cast. So they had, I'm going to say his name wrong. Doc Montgomery. He's an Aussie actor who's also appeared as a villain on Stranger Things. He's very, very good. Naomi Scott played Kimberly. She was very, very good. R.J. Seiler was a great Billy Cranston. They had Elizabeth Banks playing Rita. Becky G was Trini. Ludi Lin was Zach. And then Bryan Cranston was Zordon. They had a really, really stacked cast. Like, it was impressive to say the least. Just how many big names, especially since both Dacre Montgomery and Naomi Scott have both gone on to do some pretty impressive work. Oh yeah, Bill Hader was Alpha 5 too. Forgot about that. Elizabeth Banks has been around for a very long time. Bryan Cranston, again from Breaking Bad. Fun fact: Bryan Cranston also years and years ago used to do voices for a couple of the villains in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So he's been associated with Power Rangers for a while. They had an absolutely stacked cast. They put a crap ton of money into it, and it flopped. It wasn't a complete financial disaster. I don't know if it actually broke even, because it cost somewhere in the neighborhood of like $100 million to make, and they only made like $142 million. And your basic rule of thumb to find out if a film broke even is they generally need to double their production budget to be able to break even. Now, if you're clever and you understand marketing well, or if you're stupid and you just don't market your movie, your marketing costs might be as low as 50% of the budget instead of 100% of the budget. So it's possible they were right around breaking even, but it did not do very well. It got kind of lukewarm reviews, and the entire purpose of that movie was to launch a movie franchise a la Transformers or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Everyone was trying to do that around that at the time. We're gonna make our own movie franchise. It didn't work, and it was really obvious the 2017 movie would have been better if it had been made as the second movie of the franchise, because it was blatantly obvious that this entire movie was just there to set up a sequel that we never got. If they just made the sequel first and then decided to go back and do a prequel where we go, oh, this is how they got their powers and everything like that, I think it would have done a lot better. But the biggest problem with the 2017 Power Rangers was they didn't respect the core aspect of Power Rangers. Every single one of the Power Rangers was a delinquent in some way. Half of them had criminal records. That's never been what Power Rangers is. Every so often you would have like an SPD. The Red Ranger starts out as a thief. But that's never been what Power Rangers is. A bunch of kind of, like the Power Rangers themselves, most of them meet in detention. That's not what Power Rangers is. Power Rangers has always been about a group of normally kids, but every so often it'll be other things like Lightspeed Rescue is a bunch of adults. But it's always about a group of generally good people that are given the power to become heroes. And that's always what it's been about. It's not been about this edgy kind of, oh, we're so troubled and anti-hero. No, it's about generally good people finally being allowed to, be the heroes. And they didn't appreciate that, and it alienated a lot of the fan base. In addition to it being a giant commercial for Krispy Kreme and other things, it just wasn't great. That movie did so poorly. Again, Saban still owned it at that point. Saban, after the movie flopped, sold all the rights to Hasbro. The 2017 Power Rangers is the reason Hasbro owns Power Rangers. It's the reason we have a Power Rangers RPG right now. Because Hasbro was able to get it after the movie that was supposed to be the first in a franchise just died. So, going back to this new Power Rangers series, this is going to be a big deal. If it doesn't land, there's a very good chance that either Power Rangers is going to be sold again, or it's just going to be over. And we will no longer have Power Rangers as a series. Now, we have a brand new Power Rangers comic, Power Rangers Prime, that's going relatively well. We have a brand new Power Rangers video game that came out the end of last year that got okay reviews. And obviously, we have the Power Rangers tabletop RPG that, as of right now, is doing very, very well. Or as well as it can be. So, just because there's no live action series does not mean Power Rangers is going away. And we just got an announcement of new Power Rangers toys in the, I can't remember what it's called anymore, but they're bringing back Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for more toys again. Hooray. So it's not like this means that Power Rangers is just going to die. However, I do firmly believe that if this season doesn't hit well, they're not going to try again. Like, the benefit of Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury and all those things was it still had a franchise to lean on. It still had a history to lean on. And so some of the marketing costs were going to be lesser. A lot of the writing costs were going to be lesser because they had an entire 30-year history that they could that they could lean on to get ideas for a story in that. With them rebooting it, they're not going to have that. They get to start over from ground zero and see what they can do. So if this doesn't work out, I really think it's going to be the end of Power Rangers as a television franchise, at least for a few years. Now, what's the likelihood that they're going to screw this up like the 2017 reboot? I'm not sure. The two people that have been attached to it as, I believe, showrunners and screenwriters are Jonathan E. Steinberg and Dan Schatz. Steinberg is currently working on two different shows. One, The Old Man for FX, and then Percy Jackson and the Olympians for Disney+. So he's already working with Disney+. His history, he started with Jericho, which was not particularly well received, but it did last for the 3 seasons, and it was an interesting idea. He then did this show, Human Target, that I never heard about, and then he created Black Sails for Starz. The first season of Black Sails was not particularly well received. But seasons 2, 3, and 4, people loved. They loved the character development. They loved everything that we're doing. And now Percy Jackson and the Olympians has been very, very well received by fans. And one of the things specifically that a lot of fans cite for how much they love Percy Jackson and the Olympians is the fact that it has been very true to the source material, which was one of the big problems with the Percy Jackson films that they made, is that they deviated so much from the source material, which is kind of what Hollywood does. Like when you look at adaptations for beloved book series, like the number of adaptations where Hollywood hasn't gone, yeah, well, I understand that people like that, but we're Hollywood, we can do it better, and then just completely shit on what was there, is numerous. I mean, The Witcher started off really good, but because Henry Cavill would not allow them to shit on the source material, and then when he became too vocal, they kicked him off and ruined the franchise. We're not going to talk about the debacle that is the Rings of Power. I mean, it's just really, really common for Hollywood to go, yeah, we understand that people really, really like this, but we can do it better, and we just want to tell our own story by using your story as a way to draw people in. So the fact that Steinberg specifically has kind of been called out for how true he is to the source material, to me, gives me a little bit of hope that he's going to treat Power Rangers with the respect that it deserves. Again, this franchise has been around for 30 years. There are very, very, very few franchises that can claim that kind of longevity. The idea that, well, it's just a kid's show is an insult to the fact that it has lasted as long as it has. If you're going to be rebooting it, you need to be respectful, especially since the fans have grown up with it and they are incredibly supportive. I mean, when you look at what the Boom Studios comic run did with Power Rangers, they respected the franchise, but they did tell their own stories and they went in new directions, and it was phenomenal. Some of the best comic writing that I've ever seen. Telling really amazing, wonderful stories with incredible characters. The artwork was insane. Everything about it was just fun and amazing and great. And I was really, really sad when that comic line ended. And now the new Prime series, I adore. I haven't had a chance to read any of the books yet because they cost money, but I have been keeping track with the storylines and reading synopses and the things like that. And basically everything I can get for free. So the new comic series lines, as far as I can see, people are really enjoying it. And again, these are people that have a high respect for the source material. And as far as I can tell, I think Steinberg is going to be someone in a similar boat where they're going to realize that, hey, we have to respect the source material. We have to respect what came before, because otherwise we're not going to have a fan base. The other person, Dan Schatz, I have significantly less information about. As far as I can tell, he has worked with Steinberg a ton. He's an executive producer on The Old Man. He's an executive producer and showrunner for Percy Jackson and the Olympians. He worked on Black Sails. He worked on Jericho. And then he's worked on a couple other things. Common Law, Harper's Island, On the Sly, In Search of the Family Stone, which I'm assuming is a documentary. So a lot of the stuff that he has done on his own has not been great. But again, the stuff that he did with Steinberg did relatively well. Again, Black Sails, very well received later seasons. Jericho, some people enjoyed. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, very, very well received. So I have hope that these people are going to be able to create something that is respectful of the source material but tells a new story. The one thing that I don't want to see is the gritty reboot. We tried that, it failed, because Power Rangers is not a gritty reboot. The grittiest version of Power Rangers would basically be RPM, which is a post-apocalyptic TV show. And it still had a character who had the line, "I'm Scottish," as one of their battle cries. And in that season, one of the characters actually asked them, "Why is this spandex?" And they go, "It's not a spandex, it's a multi-polymer." There was a lot of humor in that post-apocalyptic thing. And again, it is considered one of the best seasons of Power Rangers because it has a respect for Power Rangers. It doesn't treat it as like, oh, this is a kid's show. We don't have to actually be serious. We don't have to actually worry about continuity or anything like that. But it also kept the feeling that was Power Rangers. They are children's TV shows. And I'm going to guess this particular TV show is probably not going to be aimed at children. It's probably going to be aimed at young adults, which would make sense. That's the big demographic right now. Mostly because a lot of kids watch young adult TV shows. But I think if we had to pick someone to be the writer slash showrunner slash whatever Steinberg and Schatz are going to be doing, I think we could do a lot worse. Again, going primarily from how they've treated Percy Jackson's and the Olympians, it gives me a lot of hope. Again, I am a big Power Rangers fan. I watched Power Rangers from its inception all the way until most of Lightspeed Rescue. And the reason I stopped watching Power Rangers midway through Lightspeed Rescue was because my parents basically told me, you're too old to watch Power Rangers. It's the only reason. I loved it. I still love it. And when I became an adult, and things like Hyperforce became a thing, and I saw that there were other adults that actually enjoyed Power Rangers and weren't afraid to say it, I got back into it. And I realized that I still loved it. Even though it was a show made for kids, even though there have been some seasons that were better than others, I still love Power Rangers. I love the premise. I love all the nonsense that is contained within. I love the Zords. I love all the different upgrades and stuff, battleizers and things like that you get in there. Like, I love every single thing about Power Rangers. If you couldn't guess. So I want there to be a new series that other people can fall in love with again. I want it to be respectful of what came before. One of the things that I absolutely despise is when somebody tries to do either a soft reboot or a hard reboot of a series, and the first thing that they do is they shit on the old series. It's not fun. Even if it was a bad series or whatever, it's just not cool. Give it the respect it deserves and then move on. And I'm hoping that's what it is. The one thing I don't want to see, I do not want to have another series that involves Jason, Zach, Trini, Billy, Jason, Zach, Trini, Billy, and Kimberly, and then Tommy. I don't want another Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We have done that so many times. Give us a new damn team. And I get it. A lot of people really Tommy is my favorite Ranger. I have a Dragon Dagger up there. That is his morpher. It's hard to see, but that is his morpher. It is the gold Green Ranger morpher. It's got the Dragon Zord coin in it. I am a huge, huge fan of Tommy, and I've loved every iteration of him. I loved the Soul of the Dragon comic series. It kind of brought his series to an end. I loved Amy Jo Johnson's The Return series, which technically was more of an epilogue, otherwise known as an epilogue, for Kimberly. But it also had Kim and Tommy getting together. And so it served as a way to kind of give Tommy a different ending. I loved all that stuff. We're done. Okay? We're done. We've had enough Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Make a new team. You're getting the chance to reboot this series. We don't need them. They were great. I would love to see them return in some other fashion. Maybe this reboot, the Power Rangers was a TV show, and now they're becoming real Power Rangers. Or maybe this will be something where, you know, all of those characters were a previous team of Power Rangers, because we have seen over and over and over again in the Power Rangers series that a lot of times the Power Rangers that we are watching are not the first version of the Power Rangers. In Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, there were previous teams that Zordon dealt with. And we saw, again, Samurai. They were the nth generation of Samurai. Dino Fury, they were the second team of Rangers. So I'd be fine if all of those people maybe were either a previous Power Rangers team, or maybe they're somehow tangentially involved. Like maybe we could do a Promethea thing where the Power Rangers are technology based and they're created by that, and maybe Billy is the head of R&D and Tommy is, head of training or something like that. I'd be perfectly fine with those characters showing up in the series. I just don't want it to be about them anymore. Give us a new team. Let us fall in love with a new group of Rangers that can catch our interest, and then go from there. Super Sentai is still going on, and other than Boom Boomger, which was a weird series, they have been doing just absolutely amazing things. They had an insect-themed one where all the Rangers were kings and queens of different kingdoms. That was super, super cool. The current one that's going on right now, number one goes Yuger. Number one goes Yuger. Is an anniversary series where they get to bring back what it's looking like is just Red Rangers from every single Sentai series ever. But they're doing amazing, wonderful things. The costumes just keep getting cooler and cooler and cooler. So it's not like the idea is dead. Sentai has been doing it for longer than Power Rangers has, and they're doing awesome things with it still. Power Rangers has not run out of ideas. Like there's so many different things that you could do with a team of superheroes, that we don't need to retread Rita Repulsa and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We've done that. It's done. It's over. We loved it. Give us something new. Anyway, interested to hear what you guys think. Are you guys worried about this, especially since they had to shop it around? Are you guys worried that the series is just going to be crap? Are you excited that Steinberg and Schatz are heading it, or are you worried about that as well? You worried about Disney Plus? Because let's be honest, Disney Plus has murdered quite a few different franchises. A lot. Star Wars is basically DOA. What are the other series that they've just completely murdered? The list goes on and on. So are you worried that it's coming out on Disney Plus? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, again, it's all for me today. I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.